The internet connection was down again. My name is Jack. I was 47 years old, sitting in a research station in Antarctica, and the satellite link had been cutting in and out for 3 days straight. When it finally kicked back on, I had 216 notifications on my phone. Text messages, emails, missed calls from numbers I did not recognize. My sister had called 11 times. I thought someone had died. I opened the messages. The first one was from a colleague back in Seattle. It just said, "Man, I'm so sorry." The second was from my brother. "Call me as soon as you can. Don't look at social media." I looked at social media. The video had 4 million views. My wife was standing in our kitchen, the kitchen I had painted 2 summers ago. She was laughing, her head thrown back, one hand on the counter. A man stood behind her with his arms around her waist. I did not know him. He was younger than me, thinner. He kissed her neck while she spoke into the camera. "While my husband is in the cold, someone else is warming me up," she said. She was still laughing. The man grinned at the camera. She turned and kissed him. The video ended. The caption read, "Finally free. New chapter starts now." I sat there for a long time. The bass was quiet, just the hum of the generator and the wind outside. I could hear one of the other researchers moving around in the lab next door. I did not move. I did not call anyone. I just stayed at the screen until it went dark. I had been in Antarctica for 3 months. I had 3 more to go. This was supposed to be the culmination of 8 years of research, climate data collection, ice core samples, work that mattered, work I had spent my entire adult life building toward. My wife knew that. She had known the timeline before I left. We had been married for 19 years. I thought about the last conversation we had before I flew out. She had driven me to the airport. We did not talk much in the car. She asked if I had everything, and I said yes. She told me to be safe. I kissed her goodbye at the curb. She smiled. I thought it was a normal smile. I tried to remember if there had been signs, moments I should have noticed, but my mind kept going back to that video. Her laugh, the way she looked at the camera like she was performing, like this was something she had been planning, something she wanted the world to see. I put the phone down. I did not reply to anyone, not my sister, not my brother, not the dozens of people who had sent messages. I did not watch the video again. I stood up, put my coat on, and walked outside into the cold. The sky was white. The wind cut through every layer I was wearing. I stood there until my face went numb. Then I went back inside. Over the next few days, more messages came in. My sister kept calling. My brother sent long texts trying to explain what had happened. Apparently, the video had been posted the same day. It went viral within hours. People from my hometown were sharing it. Colleagues, old friends, everyone had seen it. My wife had filed for divorce 2 weeks before posting the video. I had not known. The papers were sitting in a drawer at home. She had not told me. She had waited until I was as far from civilization as a person could get, then made it public. I still did not respond to anyone. The other researchers noticed something was wrong. They did not ask. We were all used to isolation, used to people going quiet. But one of them, a woman named Fiona, left a thermos of coffee outside my door one morning. I found it when I went to check the weather station. I brought it inside and drank it. It helped. Work became the only thing that made sense. I spent 14 hours a day in the lab. I ran tests. I cataloged samples. I wrote reports. The data was clean, predictable. It did not lie. It did not humiliate me in front of millions of people. At night, I lay in my bunk and stared at the ceiling. I thought about going home, about what I would say, what I would do, but mostly I thought about her laugh, the way she had looked so happy, so free. I realized something during those nights. She had not just left me. She had made a spectacle of it. She had turned our marriage into content, into something people could watch and comment on and share. She had not just wanted out. She had wanted attention. That was when the anger started. Not loud, not explosive, just cold, steady. I felt it settle into my chest like the ice outside. It did not go away. I started thinking clearly, methodically. I thought about our finances, about the house, about everything we had built together. I thought about the man in the video. about how long this had been going on, about what she thought would happen when I got back. She thought I would be broken. That was the point of the video, to humiliate me, to make sure I knew she had moved on, to show the world she had won. But she had made a mistake. She had given me time. 6 months in the coldest place on earth with nothing to do but think. And I was good at thinking. I was a scientist. I solved problems. I did not send a single message. Not to her. Not to anyone. I let the silence stretch. I let everyone wonder what I was thinking, what I would do. 3 months passed. Then 4. Then 5. The video lost its momentum. People moved on to the next viral thing. My phone stopped buzzing. The messages slowed down. But I kept working, kept planning. When the transport plane finally came to pick us up, I packed my things carefully. I said goodbye to the other researchers. Fiona gave me a hug. She told me to take care of myself. I thanked her. On the flight back, I did not sleep. I sat in my seat and watched the ice disappear below us. I thought about what came next, about every step, every move. By the time we landed in Seattle, I knew exactly what I was going to do. Do not go to the house. Do not engage. Let me handle it. I nodded, but I had no intention of staying away. I left his office and drove to Spokane. It was a 4-hour drive. I did not stop. I listened to the radio, news, weather, traffic, nothing important. My mind was somewhere else. When I got to the house, it was late afternoon. The driveway was empty. I parked across the street and waited. An hour passed, then another. The sun started to set. I thought about all the times I had pulled into that driveway, all the times I had walked through that front door, all the years I had spent in that house. It did not feel like mine anymore. At 6:30, a car pulled up. It was not Vanessa's. It was a truck, navy blue. The man from the video got out. He was wearing jeans and a jacket. He walked up to the door like he owned the place. He had a key. He let himself in. I sat there and watched the lights come on inside. I could see movement through the windows, him walking around, making himself comfortable. 20 minutes later, Vanessa's car pulled in. She got out carrying grocery bags. She looked the same. Same hair, same walk. She was smiling. She went inside. I watched them through the window. They were in the kitchen I had painted. He kissed her. She laughed, the same laugh from the video. I started the car and drove away. I went back to Seattle. I checked into a different hotel. I called Gregory and told him what I had seen. He told me again not to go back. I told him I would not. Over the next 2 weeks, I started putting pieces together. I hired a private investigator. His name was Lawrence. He was quiet, efficient, expensive. I did not care about the cost. Lawrence found out the man's name. It was Julian. He was 32. He worked in sales for a tech company. He had been seeing Vanessa for 8 months. They met at a work event. He did not know I existed for the first 3 months. When he found out, he did not care. Lawrence got me everything. Photos of them together. Records of where Julian had been. Credit card statements showing he had been spending money at restaurants near our house. Phone records. It was all there, a clear timeline. She had been planning this long before I left. Gregory used everything. He filed a response to the divorce. He included documentation of her affair. He requested full ownership of the house based on the fact that it was mine before the marriage and that she had violated the terms of our partnership. He requested division of assets that heavily favored me. He requested that she cover her own legal fees. It was aggressive. It was meant to be. Vanessa's lawyer responded a week later. They pushed back. They claimed she was entitled to half of everything. They claimed the video was taken out of context. They claimed I had been emotionally absent for years. Gregory laughed when he read it. They have nothing, he said. But there was more. I had not told him yet. I had been saving it. Before I left for Antarctica, I had restructured some of our investments, moved money into accounts that was solely in my name. It was legal. We had joint control. I just exercised that control. I did it because I was worried about having access to funds while I was gone. I did it for practical reasons. But now it looked like something else. It looked like I had known. I had not. But the timing was perfect. I told Gregory. He stared at me. Then he smiled. You moved money before you left. Yes. How much? 140,000. He leaned back in his chair. That changes things. How? Because it means you were protecting assets. And if you were protecting assets, it means you had reason to believe the marriage was in trouble. Which means her affair was not a surprise. Which means she does not get to play the victim. I had not thought of it that way, but I liked it. What happens now? I asked. Now we push, Gregory said. We make this as difficult as possible. We make her regret going public. We make Julian wish he had never met her. I nodded. And Jack, he said, do not do anything stupid. Let me handle this. Trust the process. I told him I would, but I had already started making other plans. I decided to go back to the house. Gregory told me not to. I did it anyway. It was a Tuesday morning. I knew Vanessa would be at work. Julian, too. I had Lawrence confirm their schedules. They were both in meetings downtown. I had 3 hours. I pulled into the driveway. The grass needed cutting. There were weeds in the flower beds, things I used to take care of. I wondered if Julian noticed, if Vanessa cared. I used my key. The lock had not been changed. That was either arrogance or stupidity. Probably both. The house smelled different. New cologne, different cleaning products. The furniture had been rearranged. The couch was in a different spot. There were pictures on the walls I did not recognize. Photos of Vanessa and Julian, smiling, happy. My photos were gone. I walked through each room slowly. The kitchen looked the same but felt wrong. There were dishes in the sink, a coffee maker I had never seen, groceries I had not bought. I went upstairs. Our bedroom. The bed was made. There were men's clothes in the closet. Not mine. His. My things were gone. I checked the spare room. Boxes. My boxes. Everything I unpacked away like garbage. I stood there looking at them. Clothes I had worn. Books I had read. Tools from the garage. Photograph from before. All of it boxed up and shoved into a spare room. I did not touch anything. I just stood there and let the anger settle deeper. I went back downstairs. I checked the office. My desk was still there, but it had been cleaned off. Papers gone. Computer gone. I had taken my laptop to Antarctica, but I had a desktop here. It was missing. I looked in drawers, filing cabinets. Everything related to my work was gone. Every document, every record, either thrown away or taken. That was when I realized she had been thorough. This was not just about leaving me. This was about erasing me. I pulled out my phone. I took photos, every room, every box, every change. I documented everything. Then I left. I called Gregory from the car. I told him what I had found. He was quiet for a moment. Did you take anything? He asked. No. Good. Send me the photos. I did. 2 days later, Gregory filed a motion for immediate occupancy. He argued that I was being unlawfully kept from my own property, that my belongings had been removed without consent, that Vanessa had changed the terms of occupancy without legal authority. The hearing was scheduled for the following week. Vanessa's lawyer pushed back hard. They claimed I had abandoned the property, that I had left for 6 months without making arrangements, that Vanessa had every right to make changes. Gregory tore that apart. He showed the judge photos of my belongings boxed up. He showed receipts proving I had been paying the mortgage the entire time I was gone. He showed documentation that the house had been mine before the marriage. The judge was a woman in her 60s. She looked tired. She listened to both sides. Then she looked at Vanessa. Mrs. Jack, she said, did you remove your husband's belongings from the primary living spaces? Vanessa hesitated. Her lawyer whispered something to her. She nodded. Yes, she said, but he was gone. I needed space. Space for what? The judge asked. Vanessa did not answer. The judge looked at the photos again. Then she looked at me. Mr. Jack, do you want to return to this property? Yes, I said. When? Today. The judge nodded. She signed something. She handed it to the clerk. Mr. Jack has a right to occupy the property, she said. Mrs. Jack, you have 72 hours to make arrangements for alternative housing. This is temporary until the divorce is finalized. But for now, Mr. Jack returns to his home. Vanessa's face went white. Her lawyer started to object. The judge cut him off. "This is not a debate," she said. "The property was his before the marriage. He has continued to pay for it. He has every right to be there." 7 to 2 hours. We left the courthouse. Vanessa would not look at me. Julian was waiting outside. He started to say something. Gregory put a hand on my shoulder and kept me moving. "Do not engage," he said. "You won." I did not feel like I had won. I felt like I had just started. That night, I stayed in a hotel. I gave Vanessa the full 72 hours. I did not want her to have any excuse, any reason to claim I had forced her out. On Friday afternoon, I drove to the house. Her car was gone. Julian's truck was gone. I used my key. The house was quiet. Most of the furniture was still there, but her things were gone. Clothes, toiletries, the photos of them together, the coffee maker. It was like she had never been there. Except she had. For 19 years. I walked through the house slowly. I opened windows. I let the air in. I started unpacking my boxes. I put my books back on the shelves, my tools back in the garage, my clothes back in the closet. It took hours. By the time I was done, it was dark outside. I sat on the couch, my couch in my house, and I felt nothing. No relief, no satisfaction. Just emptiness. I thought about calling someone, my sister, my brother, a friend, but I did not want to talk. I did not want to explain. I just wanted to sit there in the quiet. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I did not recognize. "You are going to regret this." I stared at it. I knew it was Julian. I did not respond. I blocked the number. 2 hours later, another text. Different number. "This is not over." I blocked that one, too. They kept coming. 5 texts that night, all from different numbers, all saying the same kind of thing. Threats, warnings, promises that I would pay. I did not respond to any of them. I just kept blocking. After the 7th one, they stopped. I went to bed in my own room. I lay there staring at the ceiling. I thought about what came next. The divorce was still pending. The asset division was still being fought. Vanessa was still going to try to take half of everything. But I had the house. That was something. I woke up the next morning to pounding on the door. I looked at the clock. 6:15. I got up and went downstairs. It was Julian. He was standing on my porch, fist clenched, face red. "Open the door," he yelled. I did not. "I know you are in there," he said. "Open the __ door." I pulled out my phone. I started recording. Then I called the police. Julian kept yelling. He said I had ruined everything. That Vanessa was a mess. That this was all my fault. That I had abandoned her. And now I was acting like the victim. I just stood there inside, phone in hand, recording. The police arrived 8 minutes later. 2 officers. They talked to Julian. He pointed at the house. At me through the window. He was still yelling. One of the officers walked up to the door. I opened it. "Are you Jack?" he asked. "Yes." "Is this your house?" "Yes." I showed him the court order. He read it. He nodded. He went back to Julian. I could not hear what they said, but Julian kept pointing, kept arguing. Finally, one of the officers said something sharp. Julian stopped. He looked at me one more time, then got in his truck and left. The officer came back to the door. "If he comes back, call us," he said. "I will," I said. He left. I closed the door. I sent the video to Gregory, then to Lawrence. Julian had just made another mistake. Segment 2, 1,420 words. Lawrence called me the next morning. He had been busy. "I have something," he said. "You are going to want to see this." We met at a coffee shop in downtown Spokane. He slid a folder across the table. I opened it. Inside were financial records, Julian's records, bank statements, credit reports, tax documents. "How did you get these?" I asked. "You do not want to know," Lawrence said. "But they are real." I read through them. Julian was broke. Not just broke, buried. He had credit card debt over $60,000, student loans, and a car payment he was behind on. His bank account had been overdrawn 4 times in the last 6 months. He is using her, Lauren said. I kept reading. There were records of transfers, money moving from accounts I recognized, joint accounts I shared with Vanessa, money going to Julian, paying his rent, his car payment, his credit cards. She has been funding him. For months, I said. Since before you left, Lauren said. I looked at the numbers. Thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. Money that was supposed to be ours. Money I had earned. Money I had saved. She had been giving it to him. There's more, Lauren said. He pulled out another document. He has a record. I looked at it. Julian had been arrested 3 years ago for fraud. He had been selling fake investment opportunities. He took money from people and disappeared. He served 6 months, got out on probation. Does she know? I asked. I do not think so, Lauren said. Or maybe she does not care. I closed the folder. I thought about Vanessa, about how smart she was, how careful. It did not make sense that she would fall for someone like this, unless she did not know, unless he had played her the same way he played everyone else. I took the folder. I paid Lawrence. I went straight to Gregory's office. He read through everything. His expression did not change, but I could see the gears turning. This is good, he said finally. How? Because it shows motive. It shows he targeted her. It shows she was giving away marital assets without your consent. Can we use it? We can use all of it. Gregory filed another motion. This time, he requested a freeze on all joint accounts. He argued that Vanessa had been misappropriating funds, that money was being transferred without my knowledge or approval, that there was a pattern of financial misconduct. The hearing was scheduled for 2 weeks out. In the meantime, Lawrence kept digging. He found more emails between Vanessa and Julian, text messages. He had ways of getting information I did not ask about. The messages were what I expected, flirting, planning, talking about the future. But there were other things too. Julian asking for money, Vanessa sending it, him promising he would pay her back. He never did. There were messages about me. Julian calling me names, saying I was boring, saying I was too focused on work, saying Vanessa deserved better. She never defended me. She just agreed. There were messages about the video. It was his idea. He thought it would be funny. He thought it would get attention. He was right. Vanessa hesitated at first. There were messages where she said it felt wrong, that it was cruel. But he convinced her. He told her it would make her feel free, that it would be empowering. She posted it. I read through all of it, every message, every email. It painted a clear picture. Julian was a con artist. He had found an easy target. A woman in a failing marriage. A woman with money. He moved in. He isolated her. He made her dependent on him. And she let him. I felt something shift inside me. The anger was still there. But now there was something else. Pity. Not for Julian. For Vanessa. She had thrown away 19 years for a man who was using her. But that did not change what she had done to me. That did not erase the video, the humiliation, the months I spent in Antarctica while she moved another man into my home. The hearing came. Gregory presented everything, the financial records, the transfers, Julian's criminal history, the emails and messages. Vanessa's lawyer tried to downplay it. He argued that Vanessa had a right to spend money from joint accounts, that the transfers were personal, that Julian's past was irrelevant. The judge did not agree. Mrs. Jack, she said, did you transfer marital funds to Mr. Julian without your husband's knowledge? Vanessa looked at her lawyer. He nodded. Yes, she said quietly. How much? I do not know exactly. Gregory stood. $47,000, Your Honor, over a period of 7 months. The judge looked at Vanessa. $47,000. Vanessa did not answer. And you did not think your husband deserved to know about this. He was not here, Vanessa said. He left me alone for 6 months. He left for work, the judge said. He did not abandon you. He went to Antarctica for research you knew about before he left. Vanessa started to cry. It did not move the judge. All joint accounts are frozen, the judge said, pending the outcome of the divorce proceedings. Mrs. Jack, you are prohibited from accessing any shared financial resources. Mr. Jack will have sole access until this is resolved. Vanessa's lawyer stood. Your Honor, that leaves my client with no means of support. Then perhaps she should have thought about that before giving away $47,000, the judge said. We left the courthouse. Vanessa was crying in the hallway. Julian was with her, his arm around her shoulders. He glared at me as I walked past. I did not look back. Gregory smiled once we were outside. She is done, he said. She has no money, no leverage, no options. She will have to settle. What about Julian? I asked. What about him? I want him gone. Gregory looked at me. What do you mean? I mean I want him to face consequences. Not just from this, from everything. Jack, he is not your problem. Yes, he is, I said. He made himself my problem when he moved into my house, when he convinced my wife to humiliate me, when he spent my money. Gregory was quiet. Then he nodded. What do you want me to do? Find out if he violated his probation, I said. Find out if he is committing fraud again. Find out if there's anything we can use. That is not divorce law, Gregory said. I do not care, I said. I will pay extra. He thought about it. Then he nodded. I will see what I can find. I went home. I sat in the office. I went through my own files, research notes, data from Antarctica. I had work to do, papers to write, conferences to plan. But I could not focus. All I could think about was Vanessa and Julian, about what they had done, about what they were still doing. My phone rang. It was my sister. Are you okay? She asked. I am fine, I said. You do not sound fine. I am handling it. She was quiet for a moment. Jack, you need to let this go. You need to move on. I will, I said, when it is over. When will it be over? When I say it is. She sighed. Just do not do anything stupid. Everyone kept telling me that. Do not do anything stupid. Do not make it worse. Do not stoop to their level. But they did not understand. This was not about revenge. This was about justice. This was about making sure people face consequences for their actions. I had spent my whole life following rules, being responsible, doing the right thing. Where had that gotten me? I hung up with my sister. I opened my laptop. I started writing. Not research papers. Not grant proposals. A list. Everything Vanessa had done. Everything Julian had done. Every lie. Every theft. Every humiliation. And next to each one, what I was going to do about it. Lawrence called me 3 days later. He had found something. Julian is working under a false name, he said. What? His real name is Julian Hoffman, but at work, he goes by Julian Hayes. He changed it after his conviction, made it easier to get hired. Is that illegal? Depends. If he lied on job applications, yes. If he's hiding his criminal history, definitely. Can you prove it? Already did. I have copies of his job application. He claimed no criminal record. He signed it under penalty of perjury. I smiled. First time in weeks. Send it to Gregory, I said. Already did. Gregory called an hour later. This is good. Really good. What can we do with it? I can forward it to his employer. I can forward it to his probation officer. I can make his life very difficult. Do it, I said. Jack, are you sure? This goes beyond the divorce. This is targeting him personally. I am sure. There was a pause. Okay, but you need to be prepared for fallout. If he loses his job, Vanessa might come after you harder. She might claim you are harassing them. Let her try, I said. Gregory sent the information to Julian's employer, to his probation officer, to the Washington State Department of Corrections. It took less than a week. Julian was fired. His employer sent a terse email saying they did not tolerate dishonesty. His probation officer scheduled a hearing. Lying on job applications was a violation. So was fraud. Julian was looking at going back to jail. Vanessa called me. First time since I had returned. What did you do? She asked. Her voice was shaking. I did not do anything, I said. I just made sure the right people had the right information. He is going to lose everything. He never had anything, I said. He was using you. Did you ever figure that out? She did not answer. $47,000. Vanessa, you gave him $47,000. Did he ever pay you back? That is none of your business. It is my business when it is my money. It was our money, she said. Not anymore. She was quiet for a long time. I could hear her breathing. Why are you doing this? She asked finally. You know why. Because of the video. Because of all of it. The lying, the cheating, the humiliation. Moving him into my house. Spending my money. Posting that video while I was on the other side of the world. You wanted to destroy me. You wanted everyone to see me broken. I did not. Yes, you did, I said. And now you get to see what happens when you do that to someone. She started crying. Jack, please. He needs help. He is going to go to jail. He should go to jail, I said. He is a con artist. He used you. He would have used you until there was nothing left. I love him. No, you do not, I said. You love the attention. You love feeling wanted. But you do not love him, because if you did, you would have seen what he really is. She hung up. I sat there holding the phone. I felt something. Not satisfaction. Not quite. Just a sense of things moving forward, of pieces falling into place. Gregory called the next day. Vanessa wants to settle. What are the terms? She wants to walk away. No claims on the house. No claims on your retirement. She just wants her personal belongings and whatever is left in her personal accounts. And what does she want in return? She wants you to leave Julian alone. I laughed. No, Jack, no. She does not get to negotiate on his behalf. He made his own choices. He faces his own consequences. If you do not agree, this could drag out for months, years even. I do not care, Gregory. Okay, I will tell her lawyer. 2 days later, they came back with a new offer. Vanessa would take nothing, absolutely nothing. She would sign away all claims to marital property. She would pay her own legal fees. All she asked was that I agree to a quick, quiet divorce. No mention of Julian this time. She is scared, Gregory said. She knows she has nothing. She just wants out. Tell her yes, I said. But I want it in writing. Everything. And I want her to sign a statement admitting the affair, admitting the financial misappropriation. All of it. Jack, that is overkill. I do not care. That is the deal. Gregory made it happen. 3 days later, I had the signed documents. Vanessa admitted everything. The affair, the money, the video. She agreed to all my terms. She signed away 19 years like it was nothing. The divorce was finalized a week later. I did not attend the hearing. Gregory handled it. He called me afterward. It is done, he said. You are officially divorced. Good, I said. How do you feel? I did not know how to answer that. I did not feel anything. No relief, no sadness, nothing. I feel fine, I said. I went back to work. I had months of research to write up, data to analyze, papers to publish. I threw myself into it. 14-hour days, weekends. I did not stop. My colleagues noticed. They asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. They did not believe me, but they did not push. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, I got a call from Lawrence. I thought you would want to know. He said Julian got sentenced yesterday. How long? 2 years. He violated probation. They added fraud charges. He will serve at least 18 months. And Vanessa, she moved back in with her parents, lost her job. The video still follows her around. Every time she applies somewhere, someone recognizes her. I did not feel bad for her. I did not feel anything. Thanks for letting me know, I said. I hung up. I sat in my office, my house, my life. Everything was mine again, but it felt empty. I thought about Antarctica, about the cold, about the silence, about the months I spent alone with nothing but my thoughts and my work. I missed it. Not the isolation, not the betrayal, but the clarity, the simplicity, the sense that what I was doing mattered. I pulled up my email. There was a message from the Research Institute. They were planning another expedition, 18 months in the Arctic. They wanted to know if I was interested. I read it twice. Then I closed my laptop. I stood up. I walked outside. The sun was setting. The air was cool. I could smell pine trees, grass, life. I stood there for a long time, just breathing, just existing. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister. Dinner this weekend. I smiled. First real smile in months. Yes, I typed back. I went inside. I made food. I ate at the table. My table. I cleaned up. I went to bed early. I slept through the night. No dreams, no nightmares, just sleep. When I woke up, I felt different, lighter, like something had finally let go. I still had work to do, papers to write, conferences to attend, a life to rebuild. But for the first time since I saw that video, I felt like I could. I got dressed. I made coffee. I sat down at my desk and I started writing. Not about Vanessa, not about Julian, not about revenge, about the ice, about the data, about what mattered. The rest would take care of itself. 6 months after the divorce, I was invited to speak at a conference in Boston, Climate Research, my field. The work I had done in Antarctica was finally getting recognition. I almost declined. I did not feel like traveling. I did not feel like being around people, but my colleagues insisted. They said it would be good for me, that I needed to get back out there. I went. The conference was at a hotel downtown. 3 days of presentations, panels, networking events. I gave my talk on the second day. It went well. People asked questions. They wanted to know about the data, about the methodology, about what came next. I'd answered everything. I was professional, composed. Nobody asked about the video. Nobody mentioned my divorce. They just treated me like a scientist. It felt good. That night there was a reception. I usually avoided those things, but I forced myself to go. I stood in the corner with a glass of water watching people talk and laugh. A woman approached me. She was maybe 40, dark hair, friendly smile. Dr. Jack, she asked. Yes, I really enjoyed your presentation. The ice core data was fascinating. We talked for 20 minutes about research, about climate patterns, about the challenges of working in extreme environments. She was smart, engaged. She did not pity me. She did not look at me like I was broken. Her name was Claire. She worked for a university in Oregon. She was doing similar work in Greenland. We exchanged emails. She said we should collaborate. I said that sounded good. When I got back to my hotel room, I checked my phone. There was an email from Lawrence. Subject line: thought you should see this. I opened it. There was a link to a news article, local paper from Spokane. The headline read, "Local woman's viral divorce video leads to career fallout." I clicked it. The article was about Vanessa. It detailed the video, the divorce, the aftermath. It mentioned that she had lost her job, that she was struggling to find work, that the video had damaged her reputation beyond repair. There were quotes from former colleagues, people saying they felt betrayed, that what she did was cruel, that they could not work with someone who had humiliated their spouse so publicly. The article mentioned me briefly. It said I had returned from Antarctica and successfully retained all marital assets. It said I had declined to comment. At the bottom of the article was an update. Julian had been released early from prison on good behavior. He had moved to California. He was not in contact with Vanessa. He had used her and left just like I knew he would. I closed my laptop. I sat there in the dark hotel room. I thought about everything that had happened, everything I had done. I had won completely. Vanessa had nothing. Julian was gone. I had my house, my career, my life back, but I did not feel victorious. I just felt tired. I thought about the woman from the reception, Claire. The way she talked about her work, the way she looked at me like I was just another researcher, not a victim, not someone to be pitied. I liked that. I opened my laptop again. I responded to her email. I suggested a video call to discuss collaboration. She responded within an hour. She said that sounded great. We scheduled it for the following week. I flew home the next day. The house felt different, not empty anymore, just quiet, peaceful. I unpacked. I did laundry. I went grocery shopping. Normal things, things I had not thought about in months. My sister called. She wanted to know how the conference went. I told her it went well. I told her about Claire, about the potential collaboration. You sound good, she said. I am good, I said, and I meant it. That weekend, I cleaned out the spare room, the one where my boxes had been stacked. I turned it into a proper office. I set up my desk, my computer, my books. I hung my degrees on the wall, my publications, photos from research trips, not Antarctica, earlier ones. Before everything fell apart, I stood back and looked at it. It looked right. It felt right. This was my space, my life. Nobody could take it from me. I sat down at the desk. I opened my laptop. I started writing again. Not about the past, about the future. A year passed. I published 3 papers. I gave talks at 5 conferences. I started collaborating with Claire on a project studying Arctic ice melt. We talked every week, video calls at first. Then she visited Spokane to see my lab. We went to dinner. We talked about work, about life, about everything except what had happened with Vanessa. She knew. Everyone in my field knew. But she did not ask. She did not pry. She just treated me like a person. I appreciated that. We started seeing each other. Not officially at first. Just dinners, coffee, long conversations that went past midnight. She made me laugh. I had forgotten what that felt like. My house felt lived in again. I had people over, colleagues, friends, my sister, and her family. The rooms filled with noise and life. I thought about Vanessa sometimes. Not often, just in passing. I wondered if she had rebuilt her life, if she had learned anything, if she regretted what she did. I did not reach out. I did not check her social media. I just moved forward. Lawrence called me one afternoon. I had not heard from him in months. Just wanted to give you an update, he said. On what? Vanessa. She moved to Idaho, small town. Got a job at a marketing firm there. She changed her name. Goes by her middle name now. Why are you telling me this? Because I thought you should know. In case she tries to come back, in case she tries to contact you. She will not, I said. How do you know? Because she has nothing to gain from it, and she knows it. Lawrence was quiet. You are probably right. Anyway, Julian got arrested again back in California. Same thing. Fraud. He will probably do another few years. Good, I said. I hung up. I thought about both of them. About how their lives had turned out. About how my silence had been more powerful than anything I could have said. I did not gloat. I did not celebrate. I just acknowledged it and moved on. That summer, I was offered a position at a university in Oregon. Better pay, better resources, closer to Claire. I thought about it for a week. I walked through my house, the house I had fought so hard to keep. I thought about what it meant, what it represented. It was just a house, walls and floors and a roof. It was not my identity. It was not my worth. I accepted the position. I put the house on the market. It sold in 3 weeks for more than I expected. I used the money to buy a smaller place in Oregon, something new, something that had no memories attached. Claire helped me move. We spent a weekend unpacking boxes, hanging pictures, making the new place feel like home. It did faster than I expected. I started my new position in September. New lab, new colleagues, new projects. The work was good, challenging, fulfilling. I heard through mutual colleagues that Vanessa had tried to reach out to some of our old friends, trying to rebuild bridges, trying to explain her side of the story. Nobody responded. They had seen what she did. They had chosen sides. Not because I asked them to, but because what she did was indefensible. I did not need to say anything. The truth spoke for itself. Claire and I got serious. We talked about the future, about research trips we wanted to take together, about projects we could build, about life beyond work. I felt something I had not felt in years. Hope. Real hope. Not just survival. Not just moving forward, but actual excitement about what came next. My sister called me one evening. You sound happy, she said. I am, I said. I am glad. You deserve it. I thought about that after we hung up, about whether I deserved it, about whether anyone deserves anything. I decided it did not matter. Deserving had nothing to do with it. Life was just what you made of it, what you built, what you protected. I had protected what mattered, and now I was building something new. Vanessa never recovered from the viral video that destroyed her marriage. The shame followed her everywhere she went, costing her jobs, friendships, and any chance at rebuilding the life she had thrown away. Julian served his time and disappeared into a cycle of arrests and failures, never escaping the con artist he had always been. They both learned that public cruelty leaves permanent scars and that some mistakes cannot be undone no matter how far you run. I learned something different in the cold, that silence can be the loudest response, and that the best revenge is not destruction, but reconstruction, building a life so solid that nothing and no one can ever take it from you again.